Hey everyone, it's Sally, and today I wanted to share with you some tools that I use when I'm doing my art cards, and I think you might like them. So this is a tool that I use a lot for my projects. It's an envelope maker, and I got it at Michael's. It's called an envelope punch board. So you can make your own envelopes, and in a minute I'm going to show you how that works. Another thing that you can use this for is a corner rounder if you want to curve the edges of your cards, or maybe you're making bookmarks like I like to do. So how it works is all you do is you stick the edge of your paper, line it up in there on the right angle, and you just punch it. Yeah, so look at these beautiful bookmarks. You get a nice edge corner. You get a nice rounded corner on all your cards or bookmark projects. Now I'm going to show you how you can make your own envelopes for your cards. So these are all the different options of card sizes that they give you to work with. And then it says paper size. So what that means is for whatever card is listed over here, say for example 3 by 5 inches, you're going to need a piece of paper that is 6 3/4 by 6 3/4. So that's how that works. And then over here is what's called a bone folder, and I'm going to show you in a minute how that works. But you're going to use this to make little indents in your paper, and those become your fold lines. And then you can also punch the edges of your envelopes so that they're rounded, just like we did with the bookmarks. So I have my piece of paper, and it's 8 1/8, almost by 8 1/8. And then, so that's for a card size that's 4.5 by 5.5. So that's a little bit bigger than this card. So my envelope's gonna be quite a bit bigger than the card, but that's okay. So I need a piece of paper that's 8 1/8 by 8 1/8, and then my first score mark that I put on my page for this card is at 3 3/4, which is right here. So that's what it tells me to do down here. So it gives me my card size, my paper size, and my first score line where that goes. So you might want to put a piece of tape up here, because it can be confusing with all these numbers up here. So this is where I line my first paper up right here. I'm going to line that up. Maybe I'll do it on this side. It might be easier for you to see. So you have to use relatively lightweight paper. This is just a sketchbook paper. Otherwise, it's going to be too hard to fold. Like this piece of paper is quite stiff. It's 140-pound watercolor paper. I suppose it could be done, but it just doesn't fold as nicely. Okay, so I line it up at the 3 3/4 mark, and then I put my bone folder, this is a bone folder, in here right against the device, and then I feel for this score line that's right here, because I want to make an indentation in my paper. That's going to become my fold, and then I punch it. So I've got a nice little shape in there, and then I don't use that guide anymore, the measurement guide. I just line up with this. So I take my score that I just did and line it up right here and push it right up against the edge of my envelope punch board. Score again, punch. Score again, and punch. Line that up with that and push it right against the edge there. Score it and punch it. So my envelope for this one is a little bit square. It is square, and that's because my paper was square. I don't have a square card that I can put in here. So I'm just going to use my ruler to facilitate my folds. See what you can do with lots of leftover pieces of paper. Just make your own envelopes. And you could, if you're like me, if you save old calendars that have really nice photographs on them, I will often chop those up and use them for envelopes as well. So we're going to fold these sides in. So I got my my envelope punch board at Michael's. So I took my coupon in there, and that's where I got it. I think it was less than $30. There, isn't that beautiful? Your own little envelope. So you can also round these edges like I did with my bookmarks earlier. So I'm just going to punch that. If you've got a nice handmade card, it's nice to put it in a handmade envelope. There we go. And then I would glue these sides down, or you could use double-sided tape too. And then my little card goes inside there. That's one of my very favorite tools that I use a lot of in my art projects. This is another tool that I use a lot for making my art cards. It's called a score pal. So it comes with a bone folder, and I'm going to show you how this works. Okay, I'm going to show you how I score my cardstock. This is called a score pal. So I'm going to score it at the halfway mark, which is 5 right there, using a bone folder. So what this device does is it just gives you a nice crisp fold line. If you don't have a score and you go to fold it in half without a score, it kind of cracks. Okay, so I have my score line there. I'm just gonna fold that like that. So if you don't have a score pal like this, you could just measure it to the middle, and then use maybe, I have used my little butter knives before, but just don't press too deep. You just want like a little bit of an indent so that you can see where to fold it, and you get a nice crisp fold. Okay, so you can probably get those at Michael's. I got mine at a garage sale. This is another product that I use a lot of, and it's double-sided tape, and I get it at Walmart, and it comes in a couple different widths. The brand is called Forever in Time. So I use that for the back sides of my cards that I paint to adhere it to my cardstock, or you can also use a glue stick. So I've got all of my tape peeled off my back side there, and now the challenge becomes to put this into the center of this. which I don't always get. Not too bad. Not quite in the center, but it'll do. So you can flip this over, whether you're gluing or you're using the double-sided tape. You just burnish that with your hand. There's my beautiful card. So I could just trim the bottom a little bit if I wanted to make this even. If you think you might like to do this class, I have a new class on my website. It's called Birdhouse Collage Cards. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I look forward to seeing you in another tutorial or one of my art classes. Bye for now.